Do any of you miss your so after being apart for a seemingly unreasonably short time, like only a day or two? Yeah. But we also live together, so it's weird when he's not around. Being able to text and call him makes it feel like he's not so far away though. He recently went backpacking in the mountains and had no cell reception. And it took all of 4 hours knowing I couldn't get a hold of him for 3 days to make me feel really lonely. I'd like to think I'd be able to deal if he was without reception and I knew beforehand. But in flow it would be hard for me. I'm a little nervous for after we get married, if either one of us goes away without the other. I'll miss him like crazy. Thankfully no one has ever died from a case of missing someone. I find the old cologne on his pillow and cuddling the pillow trick works well. A day or two is a long time to us. Seemingly long time is 8 hours to us. We've been together 12 years too. We are just like that. Can be and want to be always around each other. We are still best of best friends. My husband is in the military. Whether he's gone 1 day or 7 months, I miss him the same. We've been married almost 8 years and it's always the same. I married him because I love him and I want him around. When he's not, my heart hurts. Submariner's girlfriend here, I hear you on that. Even if you're used to them going away for long periods of time, not usually as long as above water deployments, but with little to no communications, i.e. one short ML every 2/3 weeks if you're lucky, it still sucks balls every time. And then it doesn't mean you don't also miss them if they're away for a few days. My fella gets home tonight after 4 days away, and I'm so excited. Slightly tempered by the fact his mother is coming too. Definitely tough without contact. Luckily, usually when my husband is away we are able to talk several times a week, or at least message/email. There was a time last year when we only got a chance for one brief Skype call for 2 months. That sucked. It's hard on the kids too. They don't care where he is or what he's doing, just that he's gone. It's not an easy life for anyone. But when I start feeling too much self-pity I remind myself that my granddad was a POW in WWII for 9 months. And my grandmummy gave birth to their first child without even knowing if he was still alive, let alone getting to talk to him. So you know, it could be worse. I miss my wife 5 minutes after I drop her off at work and go to my own work. I kissed him goodbye for the workday like an hour and a half ago. And I miss him now. Or, I guess I should have included a "and what do you do to distract yourself from it" portion to this post. For sure. Hell. My boyfriend and I miss each other when we are apart for work/school for just half a day. Haha. It's not my day is ruined because Mr. Shisimone is not here. And I miss him so much I could cry. Exclamation mark. Eats chocolate out of sadness feeling. Though, it's more like an awe. I miss Mabu. Gonna give him extra snuggles when he gets home. Eats chocolate out of yumminess feeling. For me, I think part of that is due to the fact that we were long distance for 2 years. When we are apart, sometimes I get flashback pangs of that long separation loneliness. The best part of this is that you eat chocolate in both scenarios, just for different reasons. And yes, it's the extra snuggles kind of missing him that I get. No, not really. We had a long distance relationship for 4 years, though, which is probably why. I also worried that I was being clingy when I started to feel this. Thankfully he seems to miss me just as often as I miss him. We are about 9 months into the relationship, but hung out a lot and were close before we were a couple. My boyfriend and I just went through a period of time when we were together for most days of the week. Because he was helping my family out with an emergency move. We were tired, but slept together most nights. Got quality time when we were both out of work and me out of classes. Now, we are back to seeing one another less, and both of us feel it. I stopped by his house after work a few days ago and told him I had to submit an assignment. Couldn't stay too long. So for a glorious half an hour we just talked and held each other. And it was a sweet release, just to cuddle into his shoulder and breath in. I could feel him just appreciating me being there in the moment too. Pulling me closer. I felt like I hadn't seen him in forever. I missed being close to him. I missed hearing him in person. The second I left his place, I missed him terribly. I knew I would see him 2 days later, but it doesn't help. Today is the day. Yay. Closed bracket exclamation mark. We used to be that way. Hell. 6 hours seemed like a long time. Even though we had been together for 6 years. But then I went abroad for a semester. And we kinda got used to being apart. I got home in June. And since then I don't really think about it, unless we are apart from 3 or 4 days. I don't mind this change. Though. We still see each other all the time, and do a ton of stuff together. Also it's nice to feel more independent and less needy. I don't feel like it's a symptom of us loving each other less or drifting apart. The dynamics just changed. And I'm more okay with that than I thought I would be. Not nearly as much as he misses me. I definitely value my alone time more than he does. I do miss him after a few days though. And sometimes less, if one of us is having a rough time and could use some support. Everybody is different. Me and my guy live together and still text each other during the workday mushy things and say we miss each other. It's still the best part of my day at 5 PM when we both come home and snuggle on the couch. We've been together over a year so it's possible that will fade. But I highly doubt it. On the other hand, I have one friend who would be comfortable going days without even chatting with his so. I'm away from my husband a lot, given he's in the Navy, but I've found that the amount of time makes little difference. I'll miss him just the same, whether he's away for 10 hours or 10 months. I think that can depend on the length of the relationship. If we've been together only a few months, then yes. Right now, at almost 4 years, no. I'm a pretty independent person and enjoy my alone time. Time with my so is nice in a different way, but I like a bit of both to feel balanced. We live together now, but when we didn't we had to see each other every couple days at least, even if it was just for an hour or two. He also once cut a week-long trip short by a day because he missed me. It was kind of a big deal to me because it was with his motorcycle club, and they have this whole brotherhood thing. And he chose to come home early to be with me. My fiance and I were long distance for the first 11 months of our relationship, so I don't know if that contributes to my feelings or not, but I absolutely hate to be away from him. I don't consider it clingy or needy, because if I had to be away, it's not like I couldn't get through it. Just did a couple of weeks ago for 2 days because of work, but I can't stand the thought of it. He's home and I don't like being away from home. And luckily he feels the same way. Close bracket. Edit. I should also add that we've been together for almost 4 years now, and I consider myself lucky to still have the new relationship feelings with him. I don't believe that the magic of a relationship should go away because you've been together for so long. There's something to be said for missing someone that much. Have been through deployments where I don't see my husband for over a year. And training that takes him away from me for weeks, and a busy life that makes it difficult to find time to just enjoy one another. Have been together over 10 years and married 5, and I still miss him as much as ever. Have just learned to cope better. 2 years ago my so and I spent 3 months traveling Europe. We were together 24/7. You'd think we would have gotten sick of each other, but no. We were separated for the 8-hour flight home and nearly cried when we got to hug each other at the end of it. If either of us goes on a trip, we start missing one another before the other leaves. I get to be in California this week. Never been. And I still am pretty eager to get back home. This place would be so much more fun. And I wish I could share it with her. We had a long distance relationship for 3 years before finally getting married last year. I find that whenever he goes off somewhere and does something without me, I get slightly emotional and start missing him terrible. It's mostly due to being apart for so long already that if we go different places sometimes he is always on my mind. Yep, my husband and I have been together 5 years. He works nights and leaves for work at 6 PM. Gets home around 8 AM. I miss him every time he's at work. I do somewhat. Our relationship is currently semi-long distance. Didn't start that way, college man. I'm not like OMG I miss you on the first day. It's more like, when I do something myself that I had been doing with him over the weekend, like sleeping or taking a shower, then I just get kind of sad. But not really that sad, since I still remember the memory with him. We've been married for 4 years. I was gone for an extended weekend at a bachelor party / camping trip with a bunch of guy friends, and I missed her terribly starting the first night. I love my alone time, and I'm pretty independent. But towards the end of the night it started sinking in that after 8 years together I have a difficult time sleeping alone. We live together, and an 8-hour workday is essentially too much time apart. We've been apart for 5 days in our year-plus relationship, and did not like it at all. Other than with each other we are both quite introverted. We are just lucky to be clingers of equal magnitude. I'm an LDR, so this is theoretically common ground for me. Gone without touch for 6 months the longest, but we compensate by Skyping. And the longest we've been without Skype is 3 days, in which I fidgeted like a mentally unstable. We are both like this, and I'm happy with it. I'd find it hard to keep a relationship ongoing with someone colder or more concerned by image/pride than me to actually show he cares. OFC. Too clingy would also go bad eventually. So I'm glad I found someone that I met on the same ground with this. Best opinion I can give on this is that a successful relationship is based on mutuality and communication and some pheromones being compatible. Long story short, mutual feeling intensity is good. Keep it. N. My boyfriend and I have been long distance, 8 hours, off and on for 4 years. We started dating after high school graduation and I went to school 8 hours away, and he decided to go to school only an hour from home. We both just graduated, and so it's finally not long distance anymore. But throughout that time, it was really rough, but we put in the effort and made it work. It's been completely worth it. But whether we're apart for a month or just a few days, I always miss him the same, and he's the same way. So it's nice to know I'm not the only one. But at the same time it's not something that will ruin my day or anything. It's more like I just wish he was there, but I'm not sitting around being sad because I miss him, which I think is healthy. I don't want to be incapable of being happy just because he's not there. I guess I learned that from long distance though. A day or two? Hell, I miss him while I'm at work. I went away for a long weekend without him a couple of weeks ago. I missed him right from the moment I stepped out the door, right up until I came home. How could I not miss my favorite person in the whole world? I feel that same, except I'm in a more extreme circumstance. I work far from my home and have been working 7 days a week for almost a month. I also just had a son who I only got to see in the hospital, then had to immediately leave to go back to work. Right now I'm really missing my GF, my 3-year-old son, and my newborn baby boy. Actually, just writing this is making me tear up. I can't wait to be home. I miss him when I'm at work, so yes, a few days would be heartaching for me. He says he misses me too when he is at work. We are always all about each other, probably since each other is all we have. Not after a day, but 2. Yeah. We live together, and sometimes we stay at our respective parents' homes for a few days. The first day is all good and well, but after that we miss each other. I think this was something I encountered when I was younger, 24 now. Now that I'm older, I realize I just miss companionship. A pet would fix this. Yes, I do. He leaves at 5 AM on a Monday morning for work, and when I wake up again and he's gone, I miss him. He comes back on a Wednesday, and I still get butterflies when he walks in. My boyfriend and I have lived together for 4 years in a tiny apartment. We live in a city where rent is notoriously inflated. I generally appreciate a night to myself. One day not long ago, he was going out to meet up with friends around when I get home from work, so we weren't expecting to see each other. As I was walking home, I unexpectedly crossed paths with him walking to the bar, and we both broke out in huge smiles, hugging and kissing and laughing like we just ran into old friends. I'd just seen him that morning and didn't realize, but I kind of missed him. I asked what he was so happy about and he said, "I was just walking down the street and there's you." He then went on his way and I went home and enjoyed some me time. The second I walk out the door in the morning I start missing him. That's how I know I love him. There's lots of other reasons too. Close bracket. I don't think it's weird, but my husband and I aren't like that. I kind of look forward to the times he goes out of town. My daughter and I have girl time and watch movies he'd hate and eat junk food. I'm always happy to see him when he gets home though. Absolutely. I miss her, even when we spend one night apart. We don't live together yet, so we do spend nights at out in places every once in a while. She has become my best friend and my rock, and I feel so good just sitting next to her softly touching arms. Sometimes when I need motivation or inspiration during my day, I just think about getting to hang out and joke around with her later, and it carries me through. I seriously feel like the luckiest guy in the world. I love her. No, but I'm pretty independent. I like spending time with my guy, but I also need some alone time every now and then. Yes, we are currently LDR and haven't seen each other for nearly 3 months. But before the distance, I remember almost breaking down before having to leave him for 4 days. Needless to say, when the long distance actually started, it was not easy for us. I just saw him 5.5 hours ago, but I already feel hollow and sad without him. But that might just be because 5 hours ago I dropped him off at the airport for him to fly home. Fucking long distance relationships. I get bad anticipatory grief when my boyfriend is going on a trip. I start missing him before he has even left, which makes me feel particularly silly. It used to be that way for us. However, my fiancé is an engineer in the oil field, so I see him roughly 45 days a year, about 3 days a month. We have gotten used to spending long periods of time apart. I really miss him all the time. I live a life alone basically, but it's crazy the things you get used to. I used to be so sad and miss him so much when he would go home for the weekend in college, and now here I'm trudging through weeks with him gone and staying strong. We were apart for a week right in the beginning, and not more than 2 days since. So 2 days feels like forever, especially when at home with a toddler. Oh my god. We can't go an overpass without each other. Last time we tried, he was 2 hours away at a gathering after a funeral. He ended up calling me at 11 PM and asking if I could come get him. I did, and it was amazing, because we really need each other at night, and especially when one of us is so deeply sad. Friends just don't cut it. Yes, but this is because I don't have much social interaction in general outside of school. Our friends all go to colleges far away, so it's just us, and we each have busy schedules. It's really nice to just talk to someone, anyone. Plus he makes my day. I miss him right after he walks out my door. For the first year of our relationship, my BF and I lived an hour apart and only got to see each other twice a week. Every single time it was like, OMG, it's been forever, I missed you. You feel so good to hug, let's hug forever. At the door. As mushy as this sounds, I kissed my fiancé goodbye at 8:06 this morning, and I'm already missing him. It is now 10:53. I just want to go give him a kiss and see his smile. Guy here. My girlfriend does. I've been pretty busy over the last few months because I've been focusing on work and losing weight. Most of my evenings involve the gym and preparing a meal, so I wasn't seeing her much during the week. She finally broke down saying that she couldn't handle only seeing me on weekends because it felt like a LDR. I didn't and don't think seeing my GF only on weekends is that big of a deal. But now I make an effort to see her on at least one weekday because it matters to her. I'm more introverted and she's extroverted, so I compromise because I know those types need to be around people more often. Not like I used to. But we've been dating 3 years, and for those 3 years I've been off at college. I miss him, but I'm getting used to not seeing him for 3 to 5 weeks at a time. When it gets to 3 to 4 weeks I start really wanting to see him. I've always liked my alone time and I never thought I'd be so eager to share it with someone else. Even after a few hours of being apart, I miss him. From our first date to now, the longest we've been apart is 3 days. My so and I have been together for 4 years. and I guess you could say I start missing him after a day or two, but at the same time it is nice to be away because it makes getting to spend time with him and just being with him again so much better. I obviously have no idea how he feels about it all, but I can only hope it's something similar. I currently live with my so, and when I go home for the weekend, I'm usually fine. However, he had to go on a work trip out of town for 2 nights, and I was just so lonely and missed him so much. I guess it was different because I had never been alone in our house before. Occasionally, but I'm rather independent and normally don't really miss my so until about 3 or more days apart. I was single a very long time before this relationship, and I'm still perfectly happy alone. Enjoy my solitude even. I used to go on a week-long vacation with my husband and miss him the night that we got home. When we used to live at home with parents, I miss my husband while I'm at work, even though we constantly talk through chat and Snapchat. It's been 10 years and I still constantly miss him. I like him a lot. My husband was watching the game in the living room the other day and I was in our bedroom, and in the 2 hours we were apart, he came in and said he missed me. My husband and I are like this, and we've been together for 14 years, married 9. He just worked a 26-hour shift and I missed him like crazy. Almost 5 years in, and my so and I still text and call every chance we get, even if we are just away for a couple hours. We just like to talk to each other. We even emailed each other almost constantly when we both had office jobs. Right now we have opposite work/sleep schedules, and it is killing us. We both wake up just to talk to the other one on their work break. My partner is a firefighter and works 24-hour shifts. He's gone a lot, but then has several days where he is home. Him being gone makes me appreciate him so much when he comes home to me. His job has really only affected us in a positive way. I get to things with friends and family on my own when he's at work, and I find that I have a wonderful balance in my life. My so and I just graduated from a 2-year school and we are attending different 4-year schools, a little over an hour away from each other. I took it really hard at the beginning of the semester and felt extremely guilty because I was still seeing him on the weekends. Meanwhile I have friends who see their so's every few months. I missed him so much it hurt, and it was only a few days in between where we didn't see each other. I lamented that I had become so dependent on him. But that's what love is. When you're used to seeing them all the time, a change in that routine can hurt. It's normal to miss loved ones. The fact that he reciprocates means he loves you just as much. Yes, we usually go back home during Christmas. Our families live 4 hours apart, so we don't see each other for a while. He will tell me he misses me and come up with an excuse to have me go over. I usually wait for him to tell me he misses me, but I'm usually thinking OMG I miss you. Apostrophe. He works from home and I'm at school a lot. He will usually send me a cute text, so I guess that's another way he shows it too. This is normal for me and my fiance. Since we've lived together, we've never spent a night apart, about 1.5 years. Before that, we usually spent at least the evening together. We both miss each other when we are at work. He has his bachelor party this Friday, and I'm worried that I won't be able to sleep without him. Open bracket. My advice? Watch movies he doesn't like, or listen to music he doesn't like, or maybe spend time pampering yourself. Finally put on that mud mask you bought and have never used. Paint your toenails, etc. We text all the time, even when we live together. Right now he works out of town and we are both going crazy. I could say part of it is being pregnant, because as soon as he leaves the driveway my heart hurts, and I'm counting the days till he comes back. But not pregnant, I'd still miss him after a few hours. We've been together 4 years, so IDK if maybe we're used to being around each other or what, but I wasn't like this before him. I'm happy he doesn't see me as too clingy. Well, he doesn't mind at least, because he misses me too. And our kids, I guess. Haha. My ex was army. Lots of training, and then going overseas, and sure I missed him, but nothing like I miss my husband now. It's strange, because I never thought I was that type of girl, but I guess I am. Me and my so are like this. He went to another state for 2 days and we were both texting each other how horrible it was and how we missed each other. If I have to cat sit for my brother or don't sleep at our house for a night or more, we have the same problem. He and I live separately, but in the same neighborhood, and only see one another maybe 3 to 4 times a week. We've always had differing schedules during the 2 years we have been together, so we are just used to it. We spend our weekends together just about 24/7 though, and getting out of bed and leaving him behind when I go to work on Monday morning is damn near heartbreaking. My boyfriend and I were long distance for a couple of years, and now we live together. I still fly home to London to see my family for about a week at a time. We can handle being apart for a bit as we're used to it, but we are definitely glad to see each other again after. I'm this way as well. My so and I have been together for about a year and a half, and after about a day I miss him quite a bit. Also, I really miss kissing him if I don't get to do it for a while, even if we see each other. But we are busy and just see each other to fall into bed and sleep, and don't have much really great face-to-face talking and smooching time. I get very sad and miss it a lot. I just like him a lot, I guess. I do, yes. Been with my so for years, and anytime our schedules keep us apart for the majority of the day, I miss that he isn't there. It's just so nice being around the other person. He truly is my best friend. Recently, my BF and I were both traveling at different times, such that we wouldn't see each other for 3 weeks. I missed him horribly after 2 days. At first I thought it was because I knew I wouldn't see him for 3 weeks. But I finally saw him for the first time last night, and this morning I woke up missing him. Unfortunately, I don't think he feels the same way about me. After 3 weeks, yeah, he missed me, but I think he prefers not to see/talk to me every day, which is the main problem in our relationship. Spending a night apart is hard for my fiance and I, even if he's at work for a long time and I'm just staying at home. I'll miss him like crazy, and he's the same way. Please click subscribe if you enjoyed this video.